was about to say in a good way, but I don't think you can be useless in a good way, can you?
Yeah, so how did you go today?
Well, actually, today was quite good. I mean, it's 9:30 appointment because apparently everyone wants me to be an early bird. I'm not sold on that, to be honest with you, but there you go. But yeah, no, the ladies were really good. We did the classic fee move. We didn't have the letter, so we went to the speech and language people because they're the ones that referred me, and then they directed us to the clinical x-ray, and they directed us to the actual x-ray and ultrasound. So 3rd time's a treat, babes. We got there in this. So funny.
What did it make you do?
Well, they've got this really cool x-ray actually, and they it's really good because they've got it's like a board behind you to obviously set it all up, and then what they do is, because we were asking about it afterwards, is they take like lots of photos really quickly, so like almost like the photo burst that you do, but obviously quicker than that, and then they meld them all together to have like a moving x-ray to examine what I'm like when I swallow. So they give you different liquids and liquids and foods basically with barium in it, and then they get you
why barium?
Barium. Oh yeah, good point. So barium makes it show up on the x-ray, because otherwise I suppose I could go for the lead chip paint, but there you go.
And barium's an isotope in it, so
it quickly degrades. It quickly degrades, and it's harmless for you, rather than say like plutonium or
because it's slightly radioactive, obviously it appears denser and x-rays won't go through it.
Yeah, a bit like bananas and Brazil nuts are also slightly radioactive.
So you can
but like minimally radioactive.
You can see on the x-ray when the food goes down, it's dark.
Yeah, so, well, what they did is they gave me a liquid that I think was like a barium liquid, and they gave me a small bit, and I had to swallow, like, hold it in my mouth. Fucking tastes grim. And then when they told me swallow, so I did that the first time, and then the second time they give you a bit more, and they tell you to swallow. And then the third time they were like, just down the bit that you've got, so you're kind of downing something. And then I struggled with that one because thing is, obviously it wasn't the taste, because otherwise I'd have heaved on the first one. But I think it's the fact that I'd put liquids down so quickly. But yeah, that just like I almost like threw up. So I was like, whoa! So yeah, that was interesting. It was funny as well because the one lady's retired and she's teaching the other lady. I was like, passing on the knowledge. Because at one point, Beth was like, sorry, there's loads of people watching. I was like, no, actually, I just find it really interesting. She was like, oh, do you want me to move it forward? I was like, do you mind? She was like, yeah, we'll move it forward. I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then they got me to swallow some yoghurt, as it's a different consistency. And then they gave me some banana coated in the yoghurt, so that because the yoghurt's got barium in it. And then some biscuit coated in barium. I was, do you know what, that barium yoghurt, I was grateful for that on the biscuit, because genuinely I thought I was just going to be there for ages, just like. Have you ever done like the cream cracker challenge? You're just trying, but your throat is not working.
So for those that don't know, the cream cracker challenge is you have to eat
fun. You should challenge someone.
You have to eat 3 Jacob's cream crackers.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed any drink and nothing on the crackers. No butter, no jam or anything.
Pure plain crackers.
And you have to eat them in under a minute and a half.
Oh, a minute and a half.
Yeah, a minute and a half. Which you can do at a minute and a half. If you want to do it so it's impossible, it's a minute. You cannot do it without drinking.
We always used to say a minute.
You can't do it.
We tried to get the dog to do it because he's a Labrador, and Labradors just inhale it. So even the lab was like...
So if you want a challenge for TikTok, do that one, because it's relatively safe. It's much better than trying to eat a teaspoon of cinnamon.
Yep, just make sure you don't fucking breathe in when you're trying to fucking eat them all, because if you crumble it up, then you will get it down your fucking airways.
The best I've done it is 1 minute 35, and I was very drunk.
Oh, challenge put down, eh? Mm-hmm. I feel like that's going to have to be. Am I going to have to get? Am I going to have to get? You were dribbling anyway. Yeah.
So,
hey, little cat.
So yeah. So what did you find out?
I found out that basically I'm really clever actually. Well, that sounds so stupid. Basically, I was spot on in what I said.
So you went
I felt was going on.
You went in thinking that it was stuck in a certain part of your throat, wasn't it? So you went in with it felt like, point out where you thought it was.
Yeah, well, basically, I went in.
Where you thought it was sticking.
I went in, and I kind of, when I was talking to them beforehand and giving them information, I was like, kind of feels like it gets about to there, and it just feels like there's an air pocket or something, and it's pushing it back up. And then when they showed me the X-rays, because they then did some X-rays of me looking forward as well, face on, and when they did those, they all, not only that, but they accommodated me in my wheelchair Sisyphus basically until I had to go with the forward picture. But yeah, no, I have to say,
and they let us video it, so you can see after this
we'll put it in. It's quite interesting.
So you can have a look. You can see a forward and a side view of Fee swallowing.
Although apparently I've got really good jaw muscles. I'll say, don't worry, it's because I'm a gobby little bugger. But yeah, so I found out basically I've got, what's it called, gastroparesis?
Yeah, that's probably, it's not been diagnosed yet, but it's highly likely.
Yeah, well, basically there is paresis, peristalsis.
Yeah, so peristalsis, you've got the peristalsis, which is the squeezing of the muscle.
Like lack of motility. Down. So basically you can squeeze the muscle, but it doesn't...
squeezing hard enough.
It doesn't squeeze hard enough to actually move the stuff.
It should go like that. To get, or like that to get down.
Like a snake moves.
Like a snake moves to get down. It's not, hers is just doing that, so it's not moving anything.
So I'm just flexing.
So it's gravity. And you can see that in the video, because you can see bits of food going back up.
Yeah, you can actually see like one bit goes all the way down and then it goes whoop straight back up again.
Because it's just squeezing, it's not doing peristalsis.
Yeah, so all just, so I've learnt that.
Which is why the ice cubes work so well.
Yeah, because it's obviously, it stimulates the muscle, doesn't it?
Stimulates the nerve.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think when it comes to stuff like that, I think it's given me a step. It's given me a step to start from. So, like, it sounds really stupid, but at least now I know what the problem is. I can find out what works and what doesn't work, and then we can work from there, if that makes sense. We can start building up a plan, and then hopefully we've just got to talk to gastro.
We've got a food plan.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll go to gastro. Hold on.
Way up
Hold on. So we're going to go to gastro and have a chat with them and everything, but basically... We've got a list of things that I can't have when I'm on my tired bad days, which is pretty much fucking everything that we've seen so far. But yeah, no, we'll adapt on that. But we've got like a little leaflet, and then I'm going to be chasing the speech and language people are going to be giving me some exercises to do that will hopefully help, and then it's chasing up the gastro people to basically tell them that I'm still chronically getting the same problems, but I'm also getting a lot of stomach ache now, so I don't know whether that's indicative of anything, but it's definitely indicative of me waking up every day feeling pretty shit, to be honest with you. And then it's, you start off the day feeling pretty shit and feeling sick all the time. It just takes the energy out of you. So I'm a bit fed up of feeling like this, and it's the quality of life, and it's the ability to do things. Between that, I can't eat properly, which means I don't build up my stamina, which means going out on my own and being independent becomes less of an option, and I hate that. So I want to try and I'm fully aware that my gastro problems are fully impacting my sleeping and my eating issues. So I need to try and resolve my sleeping and my stamina issues, and I know the first way I could do that is looking at the guts in some way to try and fix it. But at the moment, it's just, ironically, getting appointments is a bit like my swallowing motility.
Well, yeah,
it's fucking slow, but we get there.
Lockdown's not helping, is it?
No,
Good
it
thing
isn't.
The NHS is still
I'm eternally grateful for the NHS, because if it hadn't been for the NHS, I'd be screwed, because I'd still be going, not being able to keep stuff down and all sorts. And I mean, like, even now I still don't feel like I can hydrate properly. I mean, I drink all the time. I piss like a fucking racehorse, but I'm always dehydrated. Although we've been looking on the stony zebras and stuff, there's a lot of people asking if, like, when you were a kid, did you like salt a lot? Because I used to go and eat salt, like, on its own when I was a kid. But apparently that's part of it.
You still like salty food?
Yeah, well, I think part of it is the pots as well. That obviously I've got suspected pots, like highly suspected pots, but I'm going on the 4th of December to University College of London, so they're going to the dysautonia or autonomics centre to see if we can get a diagnosis of POTS, because they pretty much think it's a thing, but then at least they can have a look, and then also they can have a look from there whether it's just POTS or whether there's other things that will go on. Well, yeah, and I think it's the same clinic that my mum goes to.
Well, the thing is, what it's going to mean is it means that we now we know diet. We've got to match the diet to what you can eat.
Yeah.
So it's pretty obvious that you've got POTS and gastroparesis.
Yeah. Well, we know and I know with the gastroparesis, because in a way my mum's got it, and everyone that we've been speaking to that's got it has.
Comorbidity of that is likely to be dysautonia.
Yeah, because Mum's got it. So statistically, if Mum's got it, the chances I've got it increase exponentially, don't they?
So we're going on this journey to find
well, hopefully, out. It's like you know, weak ass, pathetic. Couldn't be asked to really fuck you over, dysautonia, because I'd like that.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to find out and keep up with how we're going,
if you want to find out whether I fall apart or they fix me, then follow along.
Subscribe.
welcome to join us.
Motility kind of esophageally, and it's just exactly what you're feeling. And when we were looking at it the other way around as well, we can see that further down it's sort of not clearing completely. There's a little bit of regurg coming back up. So you were absolutely spot on.
And that's actually quite nice to know. That's quite nice to know, because usually I go to a doctor and they turn around and they're like, oh yeah, you're just fine. And I'm like, no, I know it's something weird that's going on.
So I think, and with the biscuit as well, we did notice that maybe it's a little bit harder for you that from a chewing point of view and strength.
Oh yeah, you can actually
back. And that's exactly what you were reporting that you're
really
feeling.
Interesting. I was really
and have a look and see what's happening.
Yeah, it's like a school report card. Oh, that's really good. God, that's just made me realise how sad I am.
So is that a series of stills put together to make a video, or is that actually video?
It's lots and lots and lots.
Fifi.
Hello, darling. How are you doing?
So, where are we?
We've just finished in the X-ray clinic from the speech and therapy people, because I've just done my swallowing X-ray.
Yeah, that's quite interesting, wasn't it?
Absolutely fascinating. One thing I will say, barium is not fun to swallow, so don't do it, kids. However, it was incredibly interesting to actually see it all working. Do you know what, even better? I actually was exactly in the right area, as well as sort of right in what I thought it was. Which is quite nice, because most of the time I think I get told by people, like doctors, I think I'm a little bit nuts, so I think I'm just being too paranoid. So it's quite nice to actually be like, oh, I'm not going mad. Ah, cool. I mean, I am mad, but not mad on this. You get the message, right?
So time for a cup of tea now, then.
Yeah, time for a cup of tea, and maybe something that doesn't taste of
medical.
Do you know what's really depressing though? It didn't taste half as bad as some of my meds, and I'm like, geez, that depresses me more. But yeah, definitely a cup of tea, and then we're going to go home, and then I'm going to look at my weird swallowing, because that was really fascinating. I quite like that. That was interesting, right? Racia. Oh, and I even got complimented on my parking skills. 'Cause I'm the best.